Christianity, Roman or biblical? Most Christians don't realize this, but the Christianity we see today looks far more like what emerged out of Rome than what the apostles taught. And if you don't understand what Rome did, you can't understand why the church looks like it does today. The early church was Jewish at its core. Jesus was Jewish. The apostles were Jewish. The first believers were Jewish. They kept Sabbath. They celebrated Passover. They worshipped in homes. They gathered daily. They had no sacred buildings, no holy objects, no liturgical calendar. It was simple. It was spirit-led. It was rooted in the rhythms God gave Israel. Rome had a long and violent history with Jewish identity. Before Roman Christianity entered the picture, Rome had already crushed Jewish revolts, destroyed the temple, banned Jews from going to Jerusalem, and outlawed Jewish practices. Rome didn't just rule over the Jewish people. Rome tried to erase their distinctiveness. So when Christianity started spreading through the empire, anything that looked too Jewish became politically inconvenient. The early Christians were seen as a Jewish sect. For decades, Christians were viewed as part of Judaism. They kept the Jewish ways. They followed a Jewish Messiah. They celebrated the resurrection during Passover. But as Gentiles entered the faith, persecution increased and pressure on Christians grew to separate from anything Jewish. Then Rome legalized Christianity, and this changed everything. When the Roman Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity in the 4th century, the church suddenly had political power, cultural influence, and imperial favor. And Rome did exactly what all-powerful empires always do. It reshaped the faith into something that benefited the empire. Rome replaced Jewish customs with Roman rituals. Passover, the biblical feast that Jesus died during, was replaced with a Roman-approved festival we now call Easter. The date was moved away from the Jewish calendar at the Council of Nicaea, not for theology, for politics. Sabbath, the rhythm of rest God gave Israel, was replaced with Sunday, the official day of rest. Constantine made it law in 321 AD, calling it the Venerable Day of the Sun. The birth of Jesus, something early Christians never celebrated, was placed on the 25th of December, the birthday of a Roman sun god. These weren't biblical decisions. These were imperial ones. The result? A faith built around an empire, not scripture. Rome didn't destroy the name Christianity, but they did completely redefine it to fit their own agenda. It replaced Jewish roots with Roman culture. It replaced a biblical Christianity with an imperial one. It replaced the simplicity of what we see in the book of Acts with the structure of empire. This isn't about attacking Christians. It's pointing out that if we follow tradition more than we follow Jesus, we're in big trouble. And we've been going in the wrong direction for 1600 years. We need to honestly ask ourselves, if Jesus and the apostles lived in a certain rhythm, why did the church abandon that? And what would it look like if we went back to that simplicity, the clarity and the spirit-led life of the early church before Rome rewrote the story?